tournaments and getting a lot of matchup experience in the process, and we're going to get straight into game one on Final Destination, a game where it's going to be very hard, a stage where it's going to be very hard for Sonic to play around those pellets. No platforms at all to make it around those. However, I talked to Loading a little bit before the set, and apparently it's possible for Sonic, if he times spin dash correctly, to use the invincibility and dash through all 3 pallets. So what I want to see Loading do this set a lot is rely on single pellets, have a little bit less lag, and utilize that to the maximum.
Now, Loading, one great thing about him is that he's coming off of a very, very hot run so far this tournament. He was the one to take out Gluttony in losers.
Yep.
And for his first out-of-country event, that is a statement to make.
That is definitely a great result. He beat Scythe in February at the Esports Invitational, Esports Game Arena Invitational, and almost getting the footstool confirmed once again, but Sonic's dash speed just messing up how easy it is for Megaman to get that combo, and that's going to be a blessing for Peli, avoiding death just like that using that Sonic speed.
Maintaining that advantage superbly. Peli is so good, so adept with those up airs, and he's really, really good at getting the confirms at relatively low percents into them.
Exactly. However, Loading, he's not a stranger to the punish game either, utilizing that extremely strong Mega Man neutral as well as the insane punish game that Mega Man can provide, especially when it's Loading touching the controller. And it's going to be a big boon to him if he can find one of those early kills, because Sonic is not the best at rounding out the stocks. Just like that, a back air is not going to be enough, but the second one is going to be enough. Loading going to go down first, and Peli taking the lead.
Good jump back from Peli to avoid the potential back air follow-up that probably would have taken his stock. And now, fighting against Sonic while you are at the deficit is a very, very tall order, very, very difficult task. But a character like Mega Man, who does have that very fast back air and is good at the war of attrition, may be able to do it, but Peli is starting to run away with this. The deep back air! What a fantastic second stop coming out from Peli.
Okay, so I've played versus so many Sonics, but no one is as good at capitalizing on seemingly innocent situations as Peli is. He has such intricate knowledge of the options available to him, utilizing Sonic's speed to be anywhere he wants to be, utilizing not only his vertical burst range using a B, but also, and even the down air, but also his horizontal burst range with, his dash speed, exactly that. And just like that, the back air is going to strike true, going to, end that first game in a flash.
And what's also incredibly strong about Peli's gameplay is that he just knows when he doesn't need to overcommit. He knows, he's aware of the sort of options that his opponent could potentially go for. He's aware of the risk rewards in a lot of situations versus a lot of characters. And so he knows when to not overextend in his advantage. But there, he pressed it spectacularly.
Exactly, and we're already into game 2, and looking at this, Peli definitely has momentum on his side. A lot of spin dashes hitting that weren't hitting last game. Loading, he's looking a little bit lost. He's looking to play the close quarter game a lot more than last game, in my opinion. However, he's already holding back right here, going for those pellets, going for single or double pellets, unless he can hit confirm it into the third one. And that is going to be a very, very important aspect on the matchup. Look at those single pellets, look at those double pellets, but almost never the triple pellets.
Excellent call out on that grab coming out. Excellent call out with that grab, I should say, coming out from Loading. Ambitious anti-air attempt with that up tilt.
Yep, Loading definitely a punish game player. He really looks for those opportunities to land the footstool, to land the up tilt, and end that stock as soon as he can. Because Mega Man as a character, if he cannot get that early stock, it's going to be really rough to get the kill. That back air, obviously an extremely strong move, but it's just not that consistent, especially versus a character like Sonic with all those movement options, and using those movement options is Peli getting that back air off stage.
Yeah, Peli at the moment is playing with absolutely no fear off stage versus Loading's Mega Man. He knows that once he has him in an offstage position, he can do what he wants. Mega Man's recovery obviously not having a hitbox. He doesn't really have good fast hitboxes to answer versus a deep recovery Sonic.
Exactly, Peli playing that game also very well, that punish game. The back air coming through for Loading, not going to be enough to kill. The Metal Blade, though, is going to reset the situation, and that's a very good situation and a very good option by Loading, trying to get the side B on the respawn, but Peli, he is he's smart. He's not gonna jump down immediately. Gonna give it a little bit of a wait. Not gonna deal with that sticky bomb on respawn whatsoever. Double pallets, double triple pallets.
Yeah, and I love that earlier KO from Loading. He really conditioned Peli to be scared, to want him to not recover low because of the drop zone back air. And so forcing him to recover high and getting the high KO.
Extremely accurate analysis right there. Loading, he's definitely making sure that the situations are set up in his favor. He's really trying to play the RPS, the risk reward that Peli is trying to play as well. But he's trying to shape the situations in such a way that they are in his favor. Peli very patient at the ledge, trying to get the jump read with the back air, not going to get it though. Megaman has a lot of hitboxes to throw out and a lot of mid-range hitboxes as well, which is great if Peli is playing that mid-range range.
And the one time that we saw Loading try to extend with a grab, try to open Peli up, Peli was ready, playing, operating at that mid-range such that it was easy for him to respond to that grab and punish accordingly.
Ooh. However, this is a big lead for Peli, and I'm really curious to see if we're finally going to see one of those patents Kameme combos coming out from Loading, because he really, really loves using those. It's going to be really hard for him to land one of those on Peli, though, especially with the way Peli's playing. However, as soon as Peli starts calling out the jumps, it's going to be up airs coming out by Loading, and that's going to be a very, very important aspect of the punish game.
Yeah, these up airs from Loading have done a ton of damage so far. They've really helped even up this game. Rage Megaman is a threat. Doesn't commit to the up B up air.
Peli finding that nice back air and the up. Wow, what an interaction. Loading actually had the counterplay ready, but wow, he has so many issues getting off the ledge when Peli is playing that mid-range, because the back air is lasting enough, and when Peli comes from above, the pellets are not going to stop that back air whatsoever.
Yeah, such solid ledge trapping coming out from Peli. Throughout this entire set, he's been so good off stage and at the ledge. That's pretty much where all of his KOs have been. These deep back airs, like every single stock has been taken with that back air so far, except for maybe one.
He's just been getting all the offstage pressure, all the ledge pressure, and he's really utilizing his burst range. And it's those ranges where Megaman really starts to struggle. He doesn't have a great hitbox under him. His only forward hitbox in forward air is not that high of a reward. The neutral air can, as I've mentioned before, it can easily be played around by taking diagonal angles to approach him. It's really only that back air that helps him land, but if Peli utilizes speed to always be front-facing Megaman when Megaman is in disadvantage, that's going to help him juggle him and get that advantage state going that much longer.
Right, this time, Loading taking this to Battlefield, wanting the platforms. Interesting choice, maybe wanting to survive a little bit longer as well, thanks to those blast zones. Oh, he was unable to get the jab lock combo afterwards.
Loading is already looking a little bit better here. However, Peli, this is the juggle I was talking about. Loading, however, getting a good air dodge out there. The up air wasn't quite safe. However, it's pretty rough to get that timing on the punish. And the immediate spin dash as soon as he hits the corner, trying to surprise Loading and being successful at it. Loading setting up his pellets again, not having any time to catch the Metal Blade because of the way Peli is.
Oh my goodness!
Shoryuken right there, the Capcom character. Loading knows what's up. The down air bounce, utilizing the platform immediately after. Loading has a no chill.
That was nuts for him to go for that risky down air right there and then go for the hard punish with the mega upper. That was ludicrous coming out from Loading.
Ludicrous, but that's the name of the game when you're playing versus Loading. No opportunity goes underutilized when you're playing with Megaman, when you're playing with Loading. He has the Metal Blade in hand to get those footstool combos, the up tilt call out as soon as he sees it. And look at his item play. As soon as he realizes that the Metal Blade is not going to get his mileage, he just throws it at Sonic and sets up his pallet walling again. And it's really up to Peli in this situation to make the comeback happen, because Loading is sitting pretty. It's pretty rough for Sonic to get the kill going if he is behind.
Yeah, complete reversal of what we saw in the previous two games. Finally landing a back air, and he's off stage once again. Unable to get the hit right there.
Ooh, the lasting back air, very, very well done on the air dodge, and both having a very similar up B, using them to chase each other down, or up, I should say, as they fly around the stage. Peli trying to make it back to neutral. He is cornered, but that's not that big of a deal. Ooh! Loading was looking for it. Loading was definitely looking for it. Not quite going to get it,
He really wanted it right there.
But he has the room. He has all the room to make that happen. And as long as he makes it back on stage in these type of situations, it's going to be all okay for our Megaman player loading here.
Now, one thing actually off the ledge that I'd quite like to see loading do a little bit more is actually ledge rolling. Just because Peli as a player is somebody that doesn't cover ledge roll all that much. He covers everything else superbly, but because of that, he's not really able to cover ledge roll with a hard punish option in those instances.
All right, that's interesting. I want to see if loading catches up to that, or if he keeps playing this rock, paper, scissors that he has been playing, which, to be fair, it hasn't been going the greatest. Peli has been getting a lot of pressure off these ledge trap situations. However, this game we've already seen loading survive for that much longer than the previous few games. Avoiding the spring, very, very well done by loading, using that extremely... Oh, okay.
There we go. Once again, punishing his attempt at landing after the ledge jump. Now 104% deficit for Peli this time. He's got a lot of work to do in order to make this back. Loading, calling out the approach with the grab superbly. Ledge jump back.
Regrab, no regrab, using the spin dash and the up smash punish. It's not going to be it on Battlefield yet. However, that does show Peli, you do not get away with that kind of shenanigan versus me.
And now loading just seems to understand the instances where Peli wants to commit to getting out of shield.
The air dodge, that did not connect for loading, but the back air after the forward smash, forcing Peli to go over that projectile and immediately ready with the back air. Loading on the board here, 2-1 in Peli's favor still.
Yeah, JV to that game, very, very solid stuff. Holding down that second stock superbly was loading. Now let's see what kind of stage pick we're going to see coming out from Peli.
Yeah, the oh so critical stage advantage in every best of 5. We did see Peli win the first 2 games, which means that the first counter pick that loading has is going to overwrite the DSR on their neutral pick. And that is going to open up some extra options for Peli. In this case, though, he goes with Dreamland. Very, very wise choice, using those platforms to make sure no disadvantage shenanigans can happen. However, last game was a tri-plat as well, and we did see loading take that win. So I'm really curious to see if Peli, perhaps he has a few adaptations that are Dreamland specific. Perhaps he knows something that we do not.
Like these up airs. Now Peli is very, very proficient at laddering off the top with these up airs. You would think, of all characters, Sonic is not necessarily the one that you'd see laddering. He does, of course, have his up throw into up B, up air, but raw ladders?
Yep, however, all that damage, a single up air is not going to be much from Sonic. However, a single up air by Megaman might be as much as 20%, and getting 2 of those is going to nearly even it up. Loading is still looking pretty healthy on this first stock here. The pellet walls are being set up, and Peli just having a little bit of trouble getting around those, using that spin dash to go high. And once again, loading is just immediately answering all the high spin dashes. He was ready to send Peli to the depths of hell and to the top of the blast zone. However, Peli just barely surviving both attempts by the skin of his teeth, using that up B to disengage. However, loading is entirely satisfied, resetting back to neutral, going back to that pallet walling, and look at how well that is working out for him.
Yeah, Peli is just having a hard time this time getting his offense started. Similarly to game 3, he's not able to get around the pellet pressure coming out from loading.
So one thing that I've really been noticing is if loading hits a full pellet, if he has the metal blade, he throws it out and he sets up pressure. If he does not have the metal blade, that is when Peli tries to make his way in. However, right there, that was an advantage-disadvantage kind of scenario, and the neutral does not matter when Peli has to play around Megaman's great disjoints that can really push him towards the blast zone quite easily in that advantage state. And already an up air coming out. Look at the forward smash on the roll. Barely getting power shielded. Woo. Up air, up B, and the air dodge did get started out. However, Megaman drifting around it, trying to get those up airs as a kind of a reversal options. But I see Peli resetting to neutral an awful lot here. Ooh, the nair, once again, pellets. And those are really putting in so much work for loading. Peli really does not know the most optimal answer around those strong anti-spin dash projectiles. And you see that? Once he has the pellets plus the metal blade in hand, that's really when loading starts to make his biggest plays.
Oh,
and
killed by his own
that?
Crash Bomber. After the spin dash combo, how unfortunate for loading right there. Now the gap has been closed quite a bit comparative to the previous game. Still though, Peli is operating at the deficit. He's going to need to work his way around these pellets.
You see that when those triple pellets get shielded? Peli tries to jump over and up air. He tries to make it in when Loading does not have a metal blade to rely on, just like that. Really trying to push this lead, and Loading does not want to play around with that top platform. When Peli gets a grab on there, it might be lights out before you know it. Look at that, metal blade plus pellets. That's going to be such a strong combination. The up tilt on the roll, he had the reflex, just barely off on the spacing. Peli lives to fight another day. However, he just cannot make his way into advantage state versus his Megaman whatsoever. And as soon as Metal Blade is gone, he gets his way. He makes his way in with the spin dash.
The double up air, enough to take the stock, and game 4 going to Loading.
This evens it up just like that, 2 in a row, and all the momentum in the world is in Megaman's favor, is in Loading's favor right here in losers round 1 of top 8. That is going to be loser getting 7th here at Albion 3.
We could definitely see a potential reverse 3-0. I don't think they're going to Hyrule Castle.
A little bit of a misinput.
Remember when this was legal in 64?
Remember when we don't have any stages left in 64?
We have Dreamland.
Exactly. We have Dreamland. And I actually think
that's where Peli is likely going to go back to.
You think he's going to go for the run back, because I do believe he lost to 2 triplats. He lost on two triplats in a row. First Battlefield and then Dreamland. So if I were Peli, I would look for a different layout. However, Peli, he knows something we don't. He has some adaptations ready, and I'm really curious to see what they are, because I really think a lot of this matchup comes down to, does Mega Man have the metal blade in hand when walling or not? You see, after the pellets, Peli makes his way in just like that. You see that? And he utilizes that opportunity to get a mix-up, and if he does get the hit, he can really utilize Mega Man's disadvantage state. However, if the metal blade is on board, that's going to be an extra layer of keep away for Peli to get around, and that's also crucial for Loading here. You see that once again after the pellets, after the pellets, Peli immediately going for a little bit of an anti-air, a little bit of an air-to-air with that up air.
We see a lot of these up airs coming out from Peli. They're doing so much work from in neutral now. He's using them a little bit more liberally than he was in the previous game to try and get around Loading's defense.
No up B, not quite the right percent, and good DI by Loading, going to the side, making sure there's no shenanigans, no Dreamland combos here for Peli. Loading retreating to the top platform. Ooh, barely surviving that nice combo by Peli. And while Loading is alive, he's not looking very good right here. A 60%, 50%, 40% deficit right here. And the up tilt caught out on the spin dash, not quite there with the timing, but the right idea by Loading regardless. Loading really needs to make this happen. He really needs to slow his game down or make an explosive play. There's no in-between here versus Sonic.
And now Peli with this lead, he's just patiently waiting. He knows they can afford to stay more in shield. Wait for Loading to try to overcommit to something. That said though, I think Loading is being very smart in gameplay.
And that was Dreamland saving him. Any other stage would have stage spiked Peli to the depths of the blast zone, but not Dreamland. That is a fully horizontal wall, and it is gonna mean that Peli lives. And Peli, I mean, great stage pick by Peli, I guess, yep. And that is going to be so crucial here. However, Loading has quickly evened up this game, working from a deficit. However, it's going to be kill throw, not quite.
A little bit out of percent for the up throw, and the back throw was not near the ledge.
And what we're really seeing...
But the back air will seal that stock for Loading.
Not only is Loading avoiding all the offstage back airs here, he is turning the situation around in the blink of an eye. He gets that back air without... And I mean, he makes it look so effortless.
Yes.
Another grab.
Incredibly fast move, that back air. Frame 4, one of the fastest and most effective kill moves in the game.
Ooh, the down air, the hard knuckle, that is going to be a good amount of percent, and it is going to return back to neutral. And Sonic, he does have the grab kill pressure here, but how do you grab a Mega Man? And what is it, Virum, that Peli has to do here to make sure he stays alive?
Not get caught by all these up airs coming out from Loading, and the top spin dash attack as well.
Was that an up tilt?
He tried it. He tried to call that out. It's a little bit off.
Ooh!
Oh, almost getting it right there, and this lead for loading is just snowballing out of control. Peli really needs something big.
He used the trump option, the wall jump option select to avoid getting trumped. Very strong knowledge by Peli, getting the meaty landing back air to make sure the stock count is even at least. No more rage for loading, and that's good. Going to be such a sigh of relief on Peli's side. Up air, the ladder,
oh,
and
he
the
just
air
misses out.
dodge.
He knew that the air dodge was coming.
Not quite there in the execution.
Up
Once
Up air
again.
once again.
Peli, he is alive. He's breathing. He's fighting to make this happen. Look at that up air. Look at that back air. Only a 50% deficit right now.
These up airs are doing so much work for Peli once again. He's finding all of them. Clutch air dodge for loading right there.
It's going to be so hard.
He reads the air dodge.
It's going to be so hard to hold your composure here when you're loading. It's already back to even. Peli is doing so well right here.
Oh, the hard knuckle.
The hard knuckle and the up air. No punish. Look at that, the pallet,
Oh my
single pallet.
This is
Loading
so
up air.
and the up air takes the set for loading the reverse 3-0 right down to the final moments. What a turnaround.
In the end, he held on to his composure. He made the reversal happen, that up air kill move. Luckily for loading, that did connect, that did work out. Expert play by both players. The